What up, everybody? Super pumped. Thank you guys for coming on to the latest episode of the T8 Outdoors podcast. If you guys could do me a massive favor, if you could hit the like button beneath here and the subscription button as well. By doing that, it gets this video and this podcast out into the algorithm, into the world of YouTube more. So more people with disabilities are going to be able to hear it. And that's the entire goal of this podcast, is to get the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the guests and me and whatever out into the people who need to hear it. That's the point of this, right? So if you guys could just do that, help out, I'd be super stoked. And you never know, by you liking and subscribing, the right person might hear what they have to hear. But anyway, back to the podcast. Today I got my good friend Carson on the other end. He's got a rad 501c3 called Hunt to Heal. Carson, thanks for coming on. But if you could tell everybody like who you are, what Hunt to Heal is, and just give your best shot at your intro.
Cool. Well, thank you, Derek. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on. And it's cool we finally get to connect here. But my name's Carson Nineheist. I'm from Grand Rapids, Michigan. My 501c3, our nonprofit, is Hunt to Heal. And we're a nonprofit. We focus on getting people back out in the woods hunting. It's a lot more than hunting. We expanded it. So that's kind of what it originally started. But we get them out hunting, fishing, exploring. We do all kinds of stuff. So my main goal is getting people back out into the woods that, have difficulty doing that. So I'm a T3 para. So I'm about paralyzed from about here down. And I got a motorcycle accident in 2016. So yeah.
It
Uh,
happens, man. That's the number one cause of spinal cord injuries that I've heard of. Supposedly it's car accidents, but throughout all my years of hearing people, it's mainly motorcycles, mainly dirt bikes. But yeah, motorcycles, man.
Yeah, motorcycles, I'm in the hunting area, so I hear a lot of guys falling out of trees.
Oh, met a couple of them.
Side by side accident, a lot of those rolling side by sides. A lot of motorcycles. I got a lot of buddies that have been in motorcycle accident or that are now paralyzed. But well, I've met them afterwards, I should say.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I can tell you a little bit more about it. I'll say back in 2016, I was got in a motorcycle accident. I was just cruising home from dinner, and I don't know how it happened or what happened, but I went straight off the road and I hit a tree head on. I didn't hit any cars or anything else, and I broke C1, C2, T2, 3, and 4. So I kind of hit the tree head on like that. So I had like a what's that compact or whatever, but anything almost like accordion style there. But so broke a bunch of bones there, and then through recovery, I had a neck brace from here to my waist, and got home, struggled a lot. I went from being this outdoors guy, did everything on a board, wakeboard, snowboard, everything with a motor and two wheels, and to do the outdoors, fishing, all that. So I was a really active guy, and I went from that to straight sitting home in a power wheelchair, not being able to move, and it was rough. It was rough. Yeah, man, I struggled a lot with coping with that, and I was kind of okay in the hospital with it, and then once I got home and you're all by yourself, it's a whole different story. It
The mind games
that was
start playing, dude.
yeah, and it would like we said or we talked before, it's hard to get out of that funk, and I didn't want to like reach out to people at that time. I didn't want to look for help, although I should have. Yeah, it was just a struggle. You didn't feel like anyone understood you, and life has changed, and it was quite a struggle to go through. But I ended up having a buddy of mine take me out hunting. He ended up throwing me over his shoulder and carried me out into the blind, and
That's
I
a
had a
real
little
friend right there, dude.
dude, he's a heck of a friend. He's the best. My buddy Dave. And he pulled me out hunting. I didn't even want to do that. And he's like, "We gotta go. Used to love doing this." And he got me outside, and it was, I didn't want to do it, but he got me in the blind. I had all this pain, and then after sitting there for a moment, and the deer start coming out, and everything gets silent after, you're in the blind for a little bit, and
The world
everything.
wakes up.
Yes,
That's my
everything's the
favorite
best
part.
feeling. The best feeling when you're like it's like when you become part of nature, you're like in there instead of walking around everything watching you, you're part of it. So
You're the man in the arena, dude.
yeah, exactly. So I had a little moment with that with the deer coming out and a little, moment with God and nature, and it sparked something in me, and I just kind of realized that life was not over, and it just gave me this little bit of energy. It wasn't like I walked out of the place, but, I had a little pep in my step. I left. Yeah, exactly. I was like, "Okay, this is cool. I could do this. I could kinda," it gave me a new spirit, and, I remember I went out my aunt took me out to lunch after that, and we spoke about what I wanted to do from here on out, and kinda told her how great that experience was, and we talked about how we could do something like that because 'cause I've always loved helping people, and, it's kinda who I part of my personality and character, and we talked about that, and we came up with the idea of Hunt to Heal, which is the organization we started. I said, "I wanna take people out hunting." Thankfully, my grandfather had a big piece of property up in Bitely. It's, like, about an hour north of Grand Rapids is where it out of Michigan.
So
Um
Hunt to Heal is based out of Michigan, correct?
Yes,
Got
correct.
it.
It's in the Lower Peninsula, and I live out of Grand Rapids. That's kinda where our office is, but the actual lodge is up in Bitely, which is a small little town about an hour north of Grand Rapids. So I kinda put together a little plan and proposed it to him, and he said, "Go ahead, do it." And we got 640 acres up there, so it's a square mile, so it's pretty
Hell
cool.
yeah.
Yeah, so that whole area is Hunt to Heal's piece there. So he did that, and the family kind of put some funds together and built the lodge for us. And it's fully accessible, roll in, no barriers whatsoever. The roll under sinks and showers, and it's
I'm
all
on
set
the
up
way,
for.
brother. Say less.
Yeah, it's so cool. Everyone has their own little like room. It's like a hotel room kind of. Yeah, so each family has like two queen beds in there, and they got their own bathroom, and then I set 2 of the rooms up. There's 4 rooms. I set 2 of them up kind of, it's got, like, kind of a divider in it. That way, if someone comes with their caregiver or, someone you're close with, but you're not gonna wanna sleep
Right.
right next to them. That way they can still be in the same room, but they're, like, within earshot.
Okay.
So there's, like, a little privacy one. So, got a couple different setups, and it's cool. They so anyways, that they put that, we went out there and started. There was nothing on the property. It was just a blank slate, really. So we went out there and found a spot that looked great to put the lodge, and it's like just under. It's almost on like the northwest side. So and we come in on the east side. So it's almost a mile driveway in. So it's a really cool scenic drive in.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and the lodge looks over this like blueberry bog type thing, and it's cool. It's got a big, I don't know, 600-yard look a little clearing there, so you can see well. But anyways, it's gorgeous up there, and that's kind of where the whole thing was born out of this, this experience of my buddy taking me out hunting, and it's really cool because that evening sparked this whole chain of events that has now, changed my life in a way, and I get to change others' lives, and it's so cool. It's just, that's how God works, and provides for that, and he knew other people needed this too, and, I get guys in the we come out from out of state, they come from all over the place, and sometimes it's the first time they've been out of the house. Not out of the house, but the first time they've stayed overnight anywhere. It's difficult for spinal cord injury guys to, with the bowel program and just a whole different routine without the
XYZ,
chair
fill in the
stuff.
blank.
Yeah, it's everything, right? And then I think sometimes they don't want to have to explain that, or it's a really personal
Right.
thing. So staying overnight, I hear it all the time. And some of the guys have been injured for 3, 4 years, and they haven't stayed anywhere else other than their house. So no, it gets them out and gives them a chance to get in the woods. The whole point of it is to, we have all these barriers that if we're just in our regular chair, we're not going to be getting out in the woods hunting. So, we got all these resources to get you out there, and makes it easy and convenient and enjoyable. So it's cool. I thought I was doing this for others, and it is what I'm helping others, but I forget how much it comes back to me and how much I get out of it. So it's really cool. That kind of keeps me going. That keeps
I
me going
love
on. Yeah, it's such a cool venture, and I have a good group of people that have gotten involved with it. And as you know, any organization, it's not just me. There's a ton of people behind me that support it, and people in chairs, people that are not disabled, able-bodied people. I got all kinds of people involved, and you know, it,
Takes an army.
it does, and it's a chain reaction that everyone gets something out of it. So it's cool. Yeah.
I love it, bro. Everything you
Thank
just
you.
said right there is what I promote on this channel. Getting people outdoors and how healing
Yep.
it is to be just surrounded by nature, sitting there dead silent and just listen and sitting in the trees listening, and
Mhm.
then the deer come out and then the birds come out. You hear the little squirrels running around in the leaves and all this stuff, man. And it's just like and how healing it is too when you pay it
Mm.
forward too, when you're not sitting there sulking, like, oh, woe
Yeah.
is me, my life sucks. Now, like, dude, I get it. I was there. Believe me, trust from my point of view,
Mhm.
I was there, it sucked, but the moment I was able to get that weight off my shoulders and actually focus on getting outdoors, like, not just getting outdoors, but, like, getting in the
Right.
woods, getting in the trees
Yes.
and nature. It totally flipped the script, and that's all I wanna do now. I just wanna go and just if I could live in Alaska by myself on the river, dude, and not deal with any of wheelchair stuff, dude, I'd be out there, but
I
just trying to get as close to freaking being Sasquatch as I possibly can, man.
love that too. I like fantasize about that, about having that life of living out in the woods and supplying everything you need on your own. And it's a bummer because I'm like, I know that would be really really hard doing from a chair.
Yeah.
Living out in Alaska on the river, how would you do that?
I don't know, man. I'm That's a little too much for me, but I like I'll go. That's good.
Yep.
I'm content, I'm content doing that, but, that's awesome. So, you guys focus on hunting it. I'm guessing it's mainly whitetail turkey. Do you hunt black bear? I know you guys got a healthy population of black bear out there.
We have them up there, and we don't bait for them or anything, so we don't see them that often. But so far, we've just been doing whitetail, turkey, and then we do a couple fishing weekends. So, and then we want to incorporate more because not just because I like, but I love like morel mushroom hunting, and
Mm.
we have like a spring and just more mushrooms than just morels, but like a spring and fall flush, and our woods is just full of it. So I'd love to do that, and just cruise around on the track chairs. Some of that is just as helpful. Just venturing down the trails, and you know th- that.
Providing for your family when you thought it
Yeah.
was over, dude. That's
Yes.
huge, huge for
Yes.
mine.
Yep.
But,
So
if you get a bunch of
yeah. So
morels and mushrooms, I'll buy them from you, bro. I'm just letting
all
you
right.
know.
Sounds good.
Keep
Sounds
going.
good.
My bad. Getting selfish over here.
Yeah, oops. But yeah, man, we get. I want to. We've had some kids weekends. We do. We're trying to incorporate some more weekends as much as we can fit in there because we got this beautiful lodge up there, and I want to utilize it as much as possible.
Absolutely.
So,
Well, that's amazing, man. Yeah, I got
yeah.
family out there, and it's just beautiful country too. It's just gorgeous out there.
And whereabouts in Michigan? You said?
Yeah, I got an uncle who lives in Michigan. That one trailer park in that one county near that one city by that one
Yep.
river. That one?
Yo, I know that one.
Yeah, that's where he lives.
Cool.
Yeah. It's about as much as
Uh,
I know.
I know.
But
I
awesome, man. So if other from people from other states, I think you mentioned it earlier, are they able to wait, first off, how does the process work on
yeah.
being selected to get to go with Hunt to Heal?
Good question. Yeah. So, first of all, if you want to come do a hunt there, you got to go on our website and fill out an application on there. And you can go, it's hunt2heal.org. So it's hunt and then the number two heal.org. And you just go on there and fill out an application. And then you can select if you want to do a deer, turkey, fishing, or any of the, all the above. And then every year we have, we put it out in December, the application, and then we have a couple different deadlines for turkey and whatnot. But so they fill out the application. Myself or Gary, one of the gentlemen on our board, will call them, and we kind of do like just a little conversation interview, get to know a little more than the details that they put down on the app. And so we do that, and then put it all together, and then we get together and kind of choose as a board. We go over all the applications, and then they get selected, and we call them and let them know what's going on, give them the date that works, and yeah, so that's kind of where the application starts. If they're out of state, they can still come. We have people from out of state come all the time. It just depends on, I guess, cost of the license, and it doesn't depend on that, but just usually the cost of license a little more. And then we require them having a standing vehicle permit, because a lot of times we'll be taking them out with their guns, even if they're on their track chair, anything with electric motor there. So we require that, and that's fairly easy to get. They just got to have a doctor sign
Yeah,
that.
it's a simple
Uh,
note. Yeah, I've done it for a lot of
yeah,
states.
yeah, and I got a gentleman at the DNR that helps me out, and we just send it to him, and he approves it fairly quick. So, yeah, so that's about it. That'd be the start of it, and then
Go
we'd
from
kinda
there.
go further if they got selected for it, and then if they don't get selected, doesn't mean they didn't qualify, so they can fill out another one next year, or, you know,
Right.
continue filling them out as much as they can.
Keep on filling out those
Yeah,
apps, you guys. If you don't get chosen the first time, it's not the end of the world.
yeah, absolutely.
So let's say you do get chosen and you have somebody that needs to come with you. How does that work? Like, is that acceptable? Like, for like your caretaker to be there? Like, are they able to be a part of the whole operation as well, or how's it go?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've discovered that more the merrier up there. It's kind of a big lodge. So I always encourage them to bring their care. I mean, obviously anyone caregiver is welcome, family members, as many as they're willing to, there's two beds in there, and we have hospital beds we could add. So, they could have the whole family if they're willing to stay in the room, or if we have a little extra room. But so yeah, we encourage that. Or a lot of times the caregivers and family members are kind of put in the background for a little bit. So, and they're always doing all this work that
Out of love,
out of love, and it doesn't always get recognized.
right?
And I feel like the person in the chair always gets this highlight. So what we try to take as much of the load and stress off of them as possible, or as they're willing, or our guests are willing, how much they're okay with us helping them. But we try to encourage that so they can have a relaxing weekend and go read a book or hang out outside or what they want, and give them a little break. So yeah, so long story short, we definitely encourage them to bring their caregiver, a friend,
Family,
brother, family. Yeah.
yeah, fill in the blank, right?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And then so do you guys have? 'Cause I'm getting a lot of these people will probably be coming with just their straight manual chairs. What kind of options or chairs do you guys have to get people out into the field?
Yeah. We have 3 track chairs there right now. So just those, ones with the tracks on the side. We got 3 of those, and we have an extended golf cart. So that's one that you can drive the power chair up in there, or manual, or we have a few like regular power wheelchairs there in case
Right.
someone needs one of those. And then we also have a extended side by side that we just got this year, kind of middle of hunting season. It's a Polaris, and it's got like another extended and a ramp that folds down, and you can drive your power
Uh,
chair right up in there. Dude, it's cool.
uh, that
You,
that sounds sick, man.
you can drive your power chair in there, and then if you wanted to, or myself, transfer over to the driver's seat and then drive, or just sit in the passenger side, and then there's seats in the back too. So that's pretty cool. That's been a awesome addition, because we can get them out there further and deeper than we could with some of the stuff we had to begin with.
Right. Who's all, if you don't mind me asking, who's all helping with all of this? Like, do you guys have like fundraisers, people, donating off
Oh
to the
yeah,
side? Like, how's the operation financially keep running? Because it
it's
sounds like it's pretty sweet, dude.
it is cool. So the side, but we get it almost all donated. My family started the lodge, so or it started. They built the lodge, so the property and the lodge are within my family's, but the everything else Hunt to Heal has done. We've raised all the money for the track chairs, the side by sides, all that stuff. So we're basically just leasing it from them.
Right.
But yeah, we've done fundraisers, golf outings, right from the get go. I had worked in business for quite a while, but I had not done a nonprofit or a 501(c)(3) before. So we had hired a gal to help us with that. And then we kind of just, started from the ground up and started raising money right during COVID. So it was kind of just we weren't sure where it was going to go
Right.
with that. And,
And no one was sure where anything was gonna go.
right. And, but it wasn't a terrible time to do some fundraising. So we started there and I think we were able to do our first year in 2019, I believe. Yeah. 2019 was our first hunting year. And, yeah, it just worked out great. I admit, it worked out perfect. You know how that goes. Just I randomly there was this guy that was helping us with some of the food plot stuff as far as right from the get go. He was, I would say, he was a consultant, so he came in to like tell us where we should put stuff. Give us the best advice there. But he was about to leave, and I ended up meeting him, and we took a little cruise around the property, and we just became like best friends. And now he's part of the organization. He's our like property manager, so he does all the food plots, trails. He's like the runs the hunting program, the hunting side of it. Not runs it, but he's the guy with all the in-depth knowledge. And he's kind of my right hand man. And it's just cool how that works out. I would have needed him that first weekend. Had I started without him, it would have been a cluster of a weekend.
Right.
So it just timing is everything, and it worked out just that way. And now we're going on our sixth year, and I think him and I are just work really well together. So
It's cool
yeah,
to see
Josh.
it's cool to see how God works, man, and how he puts the right people in your life in order for you to blossom, dude.
Yep, exactly.
I absolutely love it. I love what one of my favorite Bible verses is God works everything for good for those who are called according to his purpose. If you're out there and you're helping and you're sacrificing, you don't have to have land and a lodge, go out there
Right.
and like what I always give the imagery of like go out of your house and just go out and live life and help somebody because you never know if there's a little kid or somebody off to the side with the same disability watching you do what you're doing and getting motivated and being like, wow, if that guy can do it, I can do it. You know what I mean? Like so
Absolutely.
never know the
The
blessing that's
impact.
gonna come about. It's like another Bible verse that I like to quote is, "Man chooses his plan, but the Lord will direct his steps." It's like, yeah, I want to start hunting hill, and God's like, all right, here's this guy, here's that girl, here's this girl, here's this guy. Run with it.
Yes.
Let's see how you can make this blossom. So
Yeah.
I love this, bro. That's exactly why I started this podcast is for to get people with disabilities introduced to people like you. And it's like I've done several podcasts too of like with people who are kind of do more so of like it's kind of like Make-A-Wish Foundation, but for hunting. Like if a kid's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I want to go shoot a black bear." All right, they move heaven and earth to shoot a black bear. All right, I was talking to this one guy, and they're down in Florida, and they come across kids like, I would love to shoot a caribou in Alaska. They got the kid out to Alaska,
Mm.
got him on a side by
Well,
side into the backcountry, shot a caribou. So it's just, just,
there are
just
some good people out there, man. Those people. I always say this. I was always a very helpful, nice person before my accident. I would consider myself a very good person. However, I don't know if I would have donated my time to go do that because I was so busy doing all these other things that I thought I was. I thought I was so busy with life, this and that. And I don't, I guess what I'm saying is I just really appreciate these guys and gals that dedicate their time to get people like you and I out in the woods, that kid out in Alaska. Those people are, sacrificing their time to help us. And I don't know, it's really cool that there's those people out there, and it makes a big difference for them and us
yeah.
being in chairs.
And a lot of these people that have sacrificial hearts like that, honestly, they get more out of it than we do.
I
Like,
know.
I constantly talk to him, we're like, "Dude, you had no idea," the word inspiration has kinda, bugs me a little bit. It's because it's like, you're so inspiring." It's like,
Oh
"Dude, I just
yeah.
opened the door to 7-Eleven to get a Slurpee, dude, like, how's that
Yeah.
inspiring? I'm living my life. If I didn't do it, I'd be dead," you know what I mean? Like, but
Yeah, I didn't have a choice.
I didn't have a choice, man, but it's like
Yeah.
you never know who you're gonna touch, and that person may be going through an extremely hard time in their life, you know what I mean? And the disability may not be physical to where you can see it, and it may not even be a disability, it may just be, having problems at home with the family, whatever, you fill in the blank, but they see you out there rolling around doing what you gotta do to survive, and they're like, I have a lot of people like, "Dude, like, I see you and your struggles, and I'm over here whining about whatever I have going on." It's like, dude, like, don't put it like that, but you know what I mean?
It's true. It's yeah.
People do
Derek,
that.
I have I say that every time I talk about Hunt to Heal is almost our guides and our hosts and the guys helping out. I think they get as much or more out of it than our guests
Yeah,
sometimes because they just exactly like you said, they get to go have these moments out in the blind. They get to see these guys doing it myself and life is good and we have it good. You and I have it good still. We struggle with all these things. We're alive. We're here. We get to enjoy life and nature and people and, all those things. And it, I think it's really encouraging for them to come in and see, oh man, just like you said, man, this is my troubles are nothing.
right.
Or whether someone's depressed or they got or in a funk or something, they may not know why they're doing it, and it's healing.
It
It's
is.
pretty cool.
So the
Yeah,
saying goes, "It's better to give than to receive." And until
100%.
you start giving, you're not gonna really grasp that quote until you're like, "Wow, dude," even me just on doing this podcast, like, I've had a couple people on who would never talk to anyone
Yeah.
about anything, but, the way I go and find people for this podcast is I'll go on Instagram and I'll type in, like, "disabled hunting" or
Yep.
wheelchair-bound athletes, whatever, blah, 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 and then I'll find people and they're like, "Oh, look at this guy in a wheelchair. He's holding up a deer. I'm gonna call this guy, invite him on the podcast, and we'll
Yeah.
just talk hunting,
Yeah.
dude." And
Absolutely.
and specifically one guy that I just absolutely love, and he's like, "Man," he's like, "I'm not a talker, dude." He's like, "I'm 4 years into my injury, like,
Yeah.
dealing with the mind games." And, he's like, "Dude, you have no idea how liberating and how happy I was to just talk hunting, dude. Just talk about stories and how I did this, how you did that." Like,
Yep.
it's just stuff like the little things like that, man. It's just like, "I'm gonna keep going. Let's do this." You never know. And that's the thing too, like with podcasts on YouTube and Spotify and Apple and whatever, like, you never know who's gonna hear it. Like, someone may listen to it, and
100%.
you never know if that person listened to it. But what
Yep.
was said on the podcast can completely change their lives. God willing too, save their lives if they're going through a really hard time, dude. Like,
Yes.
so yeah, yeah.
I agree. That's what we do. We sit around and tell hunting stories and it's that camaraderie around the campfire and the dinner table. That's some of the best moments.
You
Of
just
course,
laugh
teasing
like
each
being
other and
kids again.
yep, exactly. So, that's it's just that's where it's awesome. Shooting shit, talking hunting.
Right.
I got a lot of hunting stories up there.
I bet,
So,
dude. I'm gonna grill you on some of them here before the show's over. But
all right.
so do you guys have is there an age limit, or do you have stuff catered more to kids, or how does that work?
Well, no, we're open to everyone. Of course, I love getting as many kids. I don't. We get ranges of all sorts, but no, we don't really have a young. I guess they have to be able to hunt, but we take all kinds of age. We've had kids. We do a lot of kids on the fishing weekends. That's a good weekend for that because the whole family can come all out on the boat. We got a place just a little north of us that we have one of the gentlemen on our board has a cottage there and some pontoons, so they set that up. It's pretty cool. But no, anyone can apply, anyone can come. Really, the requirements are that you can't get into the woods on your own and want to. You know, that there's not, you don't have to be just a spinal cord injury. We've had people with ALS, Duchenne's and muscular dystrophy, spinal cord injuries, of course. We've had everything, stroke, amputees. We just had our last hunt, we just had a blind gentleman come.
I love it.
We had him out in the blind hunting. So, and we're constantly, just like everyone does in their lives, we're trying to like overcome obstacles. So when someone comes there, it's not always the same. Everyone is different. So, we're figuring out ways to get them to safely shoot a gun. We got sip and puff setups. We have all these, mounts and everything for you. So everyone needs a little different tuning in.
Yeah.
So yeah, back to that. Anyone can sign up for it.
I love it. You guys hear that, dude? There's no excuse. Whatever your disability, you can be blind. You're like, how do I hunt when I'm blind? Trust me,
Yeah.
they have ways, dude. The technology is out there. You just gotta trust the people who have experience and who know what they're doing. And
And
just go ahead.
Derek, we were talking before too. I was telling you that when I got first injured, that they were telling me, "Oh, you can still do this. You do it a different way, or you can still go skiing. You just have a different this, or all these things." And I would get so upset because I was like, I don't want to do it the way I used to, the normal way. I don't want to ski down a hill with this bucket, or I don't,
Yeah.
I don't want to use a crossbow. I was like, I don't want to use a crossbow. I was, you know, I, I loved using my compound bow, and it was just one of those things. And I something got me over that hump, and I'm like, this is awesome. This equipment is cool. Like I'd love to do it another way as long as I can get out there and do it. And something, maybe it was just stubborn in me, but that I had to get over that hump of accepting that. And then once I did, then the floodgate opens and you can do anything. Sometimes you might need a little help or just imagination of how to do it. There's a tool for anything. And if there isn't, someone will help you create it or you create it and adapt. So, but a lot of us need a little help with that.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's the thing too, is a lot of people that, coming from, able-bodied to injured to disabled, it's like there's a huge level of stubbornness, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want people to help me. It's
Yeah.
like, dude, like, soon as you let go of that mindset and realize, dude, a little help ain't gonna hurt you. You're still a
Yep.
man, you're still a grown adult, you're still a woman. Like, if you wanna get your job done and you wanna have, like, the most fun, a
Yes.
little help ain't gonna hurt too, and plus, if you wanna be greedy and keep all the fun for yourself, yeah, go ahead and try, but by
Yeah.
letting somebody help you, like, that gets them in on the fun, and they feel like they're a part of the puzzle that they're building, you know what I mean? And, like, ultimately
100%.
connecting, so
Derek, that's just, I go by this. I have the same philosophy on that. Is yeah, I could get around and do it on my own and be a stubborn, kind of disgruntled guy. Not necessarily disgruntled, but I could be that guy. But it gets other people helping, and they feel good about it. It helps us. You know, I don't know. It's just another way to engage with someone else, and it's beneficial for both of us. Take a little bit off our shoulders once in a while.
yeah,
It can, because if we get help in some of those stressful areas, we can use that energy in the areas that we, strive in. We use the energy in the right area. So that's my philosophy on it. I got a lot of buddies that won't let anyone push them, won't let anyone help them or anything like that. But I think the sooner you get over that, the freer you feel.
absolutely, 100%. So,
Yeah.
this is a hunting podcast.
Yes. We haven't talked about hunting.
You need hit me with give me 2 to 3 stories of your favorite experiences from hunt to heal.
Okay.
Like, get into it, bro, get detailed.
Um,
People wanna
let's
hear
start.
logistics.
Yeah, yeah. So our first year, let's see, Brandon, my buddy Brandon came up. I say buddy because they all are my buddies afterwards. We become
Right.
friends. He's a quadriplegic, and like many quads, he was able to get some bicep back, but no tricep. And so he was in a full power chair, didn't have a whole lot of movement, and kind of quiet guy at first. He kind of shelled up a little bit, and then we took him out the first weekend or the first hunting weekend there, and we had set him up with a sip and puff setup. So we got he was using a 350 Legend. I have a single shot 350 Legend, and I just love it. It's just dead nuts on. We don't have huge, we're not shooting anything over 150 yards at the most. So that gun works great there, and it's light and small. But so he went out and I forgot who he was. I wasn't in the blind with him. Another buddy of ours, Jeff, was that he's in a chair, which is pretty cool. So he's in a wheelchair and he takes these guys out as well. And I think it was at the farthest shot out. He had a nice 9 point, full velvet, and they were towards the end of the evening. He shot that at the furthest out with his sip and puff setup by a little straw right there. And
Yeah.
he could move that. He's got a display screen showing the scope on there. And he's had a nice 9 point in full velvet. And it was just a awesome experience because he just opened up after that. He just became this excited, after the first moment when everyone gets there, they're kind of quiet and shy, which,
Yeah.
I get that. And then, man, after someone gets a deer,
Floodgates.
everyone just opens up. Yeah, opens up. So,
Love it.
but he dropped that deer right there. So I don't have a great deer hunting story with that, but that was one of my favorites, especially the first time or first part of the year. And then we just had last year, we had a gentleman, Jamie. He had ALS, and it was getting to the point where he wasn't able to he was on a breathing machine, ventilator. So, he lost arms, legs, all that stuff. And he had wanted to take his son out hunting. That was, excuse me, he was, I think, 13 or 14, and he wanted to take him out. He hadn't got a chance to yet. And we ended up getting him and his whole family out there. And it was just an awesome experience. I think he was just a doe. He shot a doe, but he got one out there. And that was one that he had to have some assistance with it because he didn't have a
Check.
whole lot of ability there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but we still take him out. And it was just a really special moment, man. He got that deer. He was out there with his son and got that deer. And it was this one, it was like that one last thing off his checklist that he wanted to get done. And it was really cool. It was an emotional weekend.
Yeah.
His whole family was there, and everyone was in tears at the end, Sunday when they're leaving, just because hunting meant so much to this guy. So it was a huge deal for him. And it was, yeah, that was really special. And he passed away a month after that. So the timing was right,
It wasn't just a deer either, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of
exactly.
people go, "Oh, it's just a doe," and, like, no, like,
No,
that animal God created for that specific reason for this man and his family to come together.
yes,
It wasn't just a deer, like,
absolutely.
I always say that, dude, it's not just an animal, oh, it's not just a rabbit, it's
Yeah.
like, all these things are like yeah, sorry, keep going on, man.
No, that's it. You're exactly right. It just all those are moments in time that are created for us, right? And that deer, it made a huge impact on their lives, on the whole family room. Will remember that as, one of their last moments with their father. Huge moment for his son that I know he'll remember that forever. That the first time he got to, take a deer was with his dad before he passed. So and, I got quite a few stories like that are all pretty similar. I unfortunately don't have kind of some of the funner hunting stories just because they're pretty straightforward, but we get them out and have that moment out there in the blind. We have food plots out there, and that's what Josh set up. So it's not like we're not putting out corn or anything. It feels pretty natural. It's not fenced in or anything like that. So it's as hunting gets. It's not fenced in. It's as legit as it gets. So, we've had a lot of good stories up there,
That's cool.
and just, I don't know, countless good memories. I got a whole book
Right.
of memories that people have kind of filled out in there, and it's just a priceless book for me.
Heck yeah.
It's cool. So yeah, that's fun. And the bummer is, it's still hunting for me because I don't need to get out. I don't need to get out there and get a deer that I'm not eating the antlers. So I'm going for the experience. And, I don't know. I lost track there. But, oh yeah, I'm saying I haven't myself gotten out hunting half as much as I used to because I'm doing it with these people on those
Mhm.
weekends and
Right.
such. But I get just as much fulfillment out of it. I would say, but I still get out and go. My buddy Dave takes me out every year still, the one that took me out, and kind of changed my whole attitude there. But he takes me out a few times every year. My buddy Josh will take me out. We got 40 acres kind of close to that area, a little northeast of Grand Rapids that we've been setting up for a little hunting spot out there because I haven't been getting out as much as I used to, and I need to do that still. So, but yeah, mostly whitetail. Not mostly, it's all whitetail hunting, and yeah, we got
You guys take
some mine hunting.
you guys take people, what is this, golfing and other stuff like that?
We haven't been, like, taking people well, I shouldn't say that, but we have a golf outing where we like a fundraiser golf outing, but they also have 2 wheelchair or 2 golf carts there that have, for disabled people, they, like, stand you up. Have you seen those?
I have.
Yeah. Do you
Sweet.
golf at all?
I have. I I do mini golf, but I haven't, like, played golf.
Yeah, I used to like golfing before my accident, and then I tried it a few times after and broke some clubs on the support for the roof rack on those things, just kind of
Yeah.
without realizing that. But I didn't know they had those chairs, so I haven't even gone out in one of those yet. But I've been wanting to try it.
I'd love to try it, I just
Yeah,
haven't had an opportunity.
and I think you gotta swing one handed
Yeah,
because
I don't
I wouldn't be able to hold 2 hands out
I'd fall over.
and swing. Yeah, first of all, I don't have that core, so I think you'd have to like hold on and
Yeah.
yeah, I wanna try it sometime, but yeah, every time we've been there, I've been doing the outing, so I'm kind of involved with putzing around and
Cool, and you guys do, like, chili cook-offs and stuff like
yep,
this? I'm guessing this is all like, to help fundraise for the hunt deal,
yeah,
right?
yeah, it's all to help fundraise. I mean, we do some that are just events to, we do like an appreciation thing, so we'll have like all the hunters are welcome back, and we do like a cookout, so that's pretty cool. I get to like meet up with all the guys, even though we stay connected. We stay connected with almost every hunter.
Right.
It's really cool. I got another cool story. My buddy Sean, well, I always say that. We become friends. This was the first year too. Sean was this quadriplegic from Detroit, and he like kind of the more inner city Detroit. I don't know exactly where, but so it's kind of weird how he got connected. So there was this police officer that had to visit him for something. I don't know what it was, but they had ended up chatting a little bit and talking, and the police officer talking about hunting. He's like, "Yeah, I haven't gone in 14 years since I got injured." And so that was their conversation. And then this police officer contacted me through our website or through Facebook, and we chatted a little bit. And he's like, "Hey, I would love to get this guy out hunting. He hasn't been out in forever and really doesn't get the opportunities." And he said, "What are the chances we could do this?" So we set it up and had Sean and his cousin Ray. They came and they both came and they were a hoot. They like made us laugh the whole frickin' weekend. He got a nice 8 point out there. And the cool thing is he came with the police officer. So the police officer came with them, and it was just a good weekend because, these were kind of 2 opposite guys that wouldn't normally connect on a typical day-to-day basis. And, yeah, it was just this stereotypical cop and these 2 black guys, and it was just a hoot, and we had so much fun, and so we still talk to Sean all the time, and, yeah, he got a nice 8 point out there, and, yeah, it's cool, man. It's really fulfilling
Right.
for them, and it's cool. I talk to them all the time,
Cool.
so and that was 5 years ago, so
I
it's
absolutely love it, man.
yeah.
I can't say it enough, like, you guys are listening to this podcast, like, get out. If you look at so when does Hunt to Heal, when does the application process start?
Yeah, so it starts I think we open it, like, the beginning of December.
Okay.
Or yeah, hold on. Yeah, we open at the beginning of December, and then, we'll choose turkey and fish kinda early there.
Right.
I think we're gonna choose them here shortly, so we need to give them some time to prep, for schedule and all that.
Yeah.
So we choose those, I think probably in a couple weeks, and then we cut off the application for deer hunting on, like, June 1st, and
Okay,
then
so
we
it's open right now.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so if someone wants to sign up, go to our website, hunttoheal.org, and fill out an app, and like I said, anyone's applicable if they can't
Heck
get out in
yeah.
the woods.
Yeah, you guys heard that. The application process is open now. I'm gonna get this podcast edited and dropped. Usually I only do one on Mondays, but since your application process is open, I'm gonna edit it and probably drop it here within the next day or two. I'm doing this in the first week of February, so hopefully you guys can head over to hunttoheal.org, fill out the application process, and hopefully get in the woods. That's the
Yes.
goal, right? Get in the woods.
Yeah, absolutely. It's simple. Get out in the woods, man. It's
It's
good
so
for all of us.
healing, so
Yes,
liberating.
absolutely.
Right on, brother. Well, we're coming up on an hour. I can keep this at an hour. I figure,
Perfect.
listeners kind of nod off after a while. But if you've been listening to this podcast, you guys know I'm a man of faith. I give all the glory to God, and I refuse to not have his blessing on any of these podcasts. So I'm going to lift up a word of prayer. If you have eyes to see and ears to hear, feel free to join in this prayer. If not, you guys can go about your merry way. Like and subscribe, get the message out. But I'm going to lift up a prayer real quick. Father God, thank you so much for the love and the blessings and the grace that you shine on us, Lord. Thank you for these people like Hunt to Heal, Lord God, and Carson right here, Lord. And I thank you for the blessings, God. We may not see the blessing or the reason why from the beginning, God, but if we focus on you and we just stick close to you and glorify your name in all things, Lord God, you will make it known to us what our purpose is, Lord. Father God, I pray that you would bless those who are listening and watching this podcast, God, who need to hear it and need to see it, that they would get on this application process, Lord. Get out in the woods, have fun, Lord. All the creation that you created, God, and guide our hearts. Use us for your glory, Lord. And thank you for these critters. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you,
Right on,
Derek.
brother. I appreciate you coming on, dude. And
Let's stay connected.
yeah, thank you for doing what
Let's,
you're doing, bro. I
yeah,
really appreciate it.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Derek.
Have a good one.